Rainbows are visions, but only illusions. Can I have my chair back, Missy? I need my chair. All right. Hello, everybody. It is Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman. And geez, I should have brushed my hair before I came on camera. I am precariously seated on the edge of my seat. Hi, everybody. Hey, Joe and okay. I'm looking for a piece of paper to write down people's stuff. Hi, Linnea. Lena. God. I'm a little out of it today. Lena, did you want a reading? So for those who are here for the first time or new to this, I do a 1-card reading for the first 6 people who, awesome. So I'll do a 1-card reading. All you have to do is be one of the first 6 people to comment yes. So we've got Roulette and Joe. We've got Lena. Yay, it's so good to see you, Lena. All right, I'm just kind of getting started here. Pardon the hair. I should have brushed it before I started, but oh well. Valerie. And I'm sharing my chair. If I look kind of like I'm in a kind of weird position, it's because Kira has claimed the chair, and so I am sharing it with her because you can't, our other name for her is Mjolnir. Once she settles someplace, it just doesn't seem right to disturb her because she's the queen or the princess. So, okay, I need to get grounded. And I am going to light some sage. So welcome everybody. For those who may not know me, I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman. And we are going to do some medicine card readings. So we've got 4 people already, so there's room for 2 more. If anybody wants a card tonight, you can comment yes. Meanwhile, I am going to smudge my cards. Awesome. All right, Tammy, you are in. I knew Valerie. I knew. That's why I appended my original to saying that Kira is the queen, because you are the queen and she is the princess. All right, so we are going to pull some medicine cards. You have 1 spot left. And then, in case you don't get a card yourself, at the end I will pull an extra card to cover everybody, whether you've gotten a card or not. And the only thing I ask in return is if you would please share this video. You can share it to your page, you can share it to someone else's page or wall, or you can tag somebody in the comments. I love you too, Valerie. So, while I'm shuffling, in the next couple of weeks, I am going to try to do another Introduction to Shamanic Journey class, either on a Tuesday or Thursday night. And then in about 3 weeks-ish, I am going to be starting a year-long class on shamanism. It's a monthly class, 3 hours a month. And we go for a full year learning the way of the shaman. Well, I shouldn't, okay. Way of the Shaman is copyright written. So I can't say that, but the Path of the Shaman, you will get to walk the Path of the Shaman for a year. So for both of those, you can check my, I don't have the intro up yet. I just put up about the Deepening the Journey course, year-long course. It's up on my Facebook page. And I'm going to put up some more information about that soon. Things have been crazy lately, and I haven't been getting things done as quickly as I had hoped. But everything happens in its own time. All right. I don't know if you can see. See, there's Kira. Say hi to the people, Missy. This is like every once in a while she decides on a different place to sleep. And for the last couple of months or something, this is her chair. This is where she sleeps. So, oh, and I'm reclaiming the chair. She decided that was enough of that. All right, so Roulette, you are up. First card of the night. It was good to see you guys this weekend. Roulette and Joe. All right. So, Roulette, you got Salmon reversed. Keep going. You know your bearings. It might not be easy right now. It might feel like you are so welcome, Roulette. I'm glad you liked the deck. A friend gave that to me and was like, here, I don't know that this is yours, but I think you might know someone who would like it. And you were the one, so awesome. All right, so Salmon in reverse. So another thing I like to say, even if you don't have a card, or if someone else's, if I'm saying the it's always making you sound like the Arkansas hick you are. I'm not sure I understand that, but oh, fur, because you said thank you for what? Give them what fur? Okay, we are like way all over the place, so okay, breathe. All right. Okay. So, what I was saying, even if you don't have a card or, well, I am reading for other people, the fact that you're watching this means that, no matter who might seem to be in the spotlight, you are the star of your own show. You are the hero of your own story. So everything around you is part of your perception. So even if I'm reading a card for someone else, pay attention, because a lot of times what I say to someone else rings true for you as well. And sometimes I'll be reading the card for someone else, and all of a sudden a little bit of information will jump in that's not necessarily for them, but it might be for you instead. So if you didn't get a card for yourself, we still have one spot open. And then at the end, like I said, I will pull an extra card for everybody. So, all right. So Salmon in reverse, Roulette. Don't lose sight of your destination, okay? When salmon pops up, it's not a question of if you're going to get there. It's a question of when. You are guaranteed to get home, like salmon, getting home to the spawning, returning to his origins, right? In reverse, it can be the roar of the waves, the roar of the current past you might be distracting you, might be overwhelming you. The voice of others is part of that current. The world, all those doubts and beliefs that you were saddled with since you were young, all of those things make up the river that we have to swim up to get home to who we truly are. Okay, that's really cool. That's never come up before that way. But that is the river you are swimming through. So be like Dory. Keep on swimming, swimming, swimming. Keep on. I just got that melody really bad. Anyway, so know that you're guaranteed to get there. Salmon would not be here if it weren't a done deal, okay? It's just at the moment, the voices of critics, maybe the voices of the world, the voices of your inner critic might be louder than your enthusiasm, but that is one of the gifts of salmon, is enthusiasm. I've told the story before about how I was down at the river sitting on this rock that just kind of went into the river, and there was a salmon there, big old salmon. It was this big. No, just kidding. And I connected to him, and he came kind of swimming over and sat underneath the rock I was sitting on. Like, it was like almost like a little puppy. And so I connected with him to see, how he was doing. And the main feeling I got from him was enthusiasm. He was so excited to be going home, and nothing was going to get in his way. And it was that drive, that enthusiasm, that gumption, that determination. Come hell or high water, he was going home. So the other thing, so it's that enthusiasm, gaining that enthusiasm, becoming excited about your destiny, no matter what anyone else says or does, no matter how anyone else might react. Just that is your main bearings. It's like your North Star. So you always know which way is home. And I think the big message here right now is to trust your heart, trust your vision, okay? Salmon doesn't just fight the currents. It's not just this uphill battle all the way to fight the currents to get home. They actually will ride the ebb flow or the whirlpools and that kind of thing, actually, to get upstream. Most of the time, you won't see them in the main current. You'll see them kind of off to the side, where either the current isn't as strong and it's shallower. And in those areas too, you get underflows. You get the ebb flow that goes backwards up the river. And so salmon sees pathways in the river that no one else does. Trust your vision. When you see your path, When it's clear to you which way to go, don't ask questions. Don't ask for other people's opinions. Don't ask for validation from others. Just do it. Just go. You see that opening, you go. Okay? And I know you're just getting your new business started. I'm so excited for you. And it's like this business, this path, the excitement and the freedom that is coming from thinking about it, from putting the puzzle pieces together by putting one stepping stone in front of the next, is leading you home. It's not, how do I put it? You are returning to your origin. When I say that, I mean like returning to that original essence of purity, of authenticity, of innocence, of divinity. And this path, this, how do I put it? What you're doing now is carrying you home, if that makes sense. It's like this is the medium through which you are finding your way home. The two are inseparable. It's like this is your place, this is your role, this is your purpose. And it might change in the future, who knows? But right now, this is what excites you. This is what gets you going, and focus on that excitement. Because it's what it's what you focus on that increases in your life. So don't pay attention. Well, okay, I'll take that back. When the doubts and the fears come up, don't suppress them by ignoring them. Say, hey, how you doing? Come in for tea. And when you're welcoming, when there's no resistance, that's when those fears and judgments disappear, because there's no resistance. And so don't just focus, okay, no bad thoughts, no fears, no fears. If the fears come up, they're coming up because you have the courage to step forward into your power. And as you do that, yes, Deb, you are our last card. Awesome. It's really weird. It's like normally it's like they're gone, and then there's like, 3 or 4 people afterwards going, I want a card. But tonight it's perfect. You're just in time. You're just in time. So roulette, it's actually the fears, the criticism, like the inner critic, the questioning, oh, can I really do this? Oh, am I good enough to do this? Oh, what if I fail? Whatever. The reason those are coming up is because you had the courage to step forward. And going forward and claiming your path, setting that intention to go home, to realize your own power, that is how you raise your frequency. And it's because you're raising that frequency that the lower frequencies of judgment and fear and criticism can't exist. They're a lower frequency emotion. So the more you hang out in that excitement and the enthusiasm, the more those lower ones are forced to the surface to be released. So when those things come up, it's not that you're going backwards. Everyone else might look at you swimming upstream and say, what's she doing? She's crazy. She's going backwards. You're not going backwards. And just because other things are coming up doesn't mean that you're doing it wrong or you're going backwards. It actually is a sign of the opposite. You are going the right way. You are on course. You are on course and you are destined to get there. And when you're destined to get there, every little challenge or bump in the road or obstacle becomes an adventure, because you know no matter what, you're going to get through it. Because at the end of the journey, you are going to be home. And so it's no longer a, oh crap, I hope I survive this. Oh, I hope this doesn't take me out. It's like, okay, here's the challenge, and I am up to it. We're going to do this. I don't know how, but this challenge is going to unleash a new strength in me that I didn't know ever existed before. Okay? So keep going. You've got this. And I can tell just by my excitement of talking about it, I can feel I'm kind of picking up your own excitement. So I hope that makes sense. I see you commented, but it's a long one, so I can't see. Yes, fear is the mind killer. Awesome. Perfect. All right, Joe. Let's see what is in the cards for Joe tonight for this week. They're having me do a lot of shuffling for you, Joe, so I'll make sure they all come up the way they're supposed to. All right, Joe. Awesome. You're uncontrollable right now. Look at that. Joe, you got Weasel in reverse. So Weasel in reverse, the first thing I think of is the hamster wheel. Weasel is... A big part of Weasel is intuition. It's like the reasoning behind that is that Weasel has a very high metabolism, and because of that, they can't stop moving. They're into everything, and so they know everything that's going on in their environment. They're into it. They're like zip, zip. They're in and they're out, and before anyone even knows they're there. And so I'm guessing that your intuition may be kicking up. You may have noticed your intuition, more synchronicities, more, knowing who's about to call you, thinking about someone and then they call you, that kind of thing going on. And the thing, the other side of that is that when we can see all possibilities, you've got a choice, a fork in the road, and you can see every permutation of every choice that branches off of each of those choices. I just watched the Loki series on Disney, talking about the timelines and the timeline branches and trying to stabilize the sacred timeline, and it's kind of like that. There's so many possibilities that it can be kind of like a deer in the headlights. You're blind, like there's so many. Instead of Like the excitement of salmon, like roulette, it's kind of like that overwhelm. There's just too much information. And so rather than opening you up to possibilities, it kind of shuts you down because there's no way to decide which direction to go. There's too much. And so it can bring in, when you do work, when you do have a high intuitive rate, it's also easy to get into the mental, like I said, the hamster wheel, the overthinking. So take a few breaths, relax. Know that no matter what is going on, no matter what you decide to do, no matter what you are doing, it's exactly what you need to be doing. There is purpose in everything. There is purpose in every moment. You are the divine presence in every moment of your life. There is never a time you are outside of purpose. There is never a time you are off of your path. And so, like Weasel, no matter what's going on, even if you're overwhelmed or overthinking things, just keep moving, okay? Just keep moving. Someone I used to know used to say it's easier to steer a car when it's moving than when it's parked, right? So even if you're moving in the quote unquote wrong direction, you can course correct and come back easier than if you stop and you have to wrestle against the power steering to get the wheel to go the right way and keep going. Kind of interesting that you and Roulette have that same kind of message today. Keep going. And it doesn't, listen to this, it doesn't matter if you don't know where you're going. Okay? Just keep moving. Because sooner or later, you're going to run into a familiar neighborhood. Oh, I know where I am. Or something's going to remind you of what your deeper intentions are. It's like, oh, that's right. And then you're going to look back and say, oh, I was heading that direction the whole time, right? So you cannot make a wrong decision. That is medicine. That is weasel medicine. You cannot make a wrong decision. You cannot go in the wrong direction. The universe is a giant GPS system. No matter where you are, you can get there from here. Or maybe it's more correct to say you can get here from there. So just keep moving, and when we seem to be off our path, when we seem to be lost, that is when the deepest understandings, that's when the deepest lessons occur, because we get what we're not expecting. And the universe, it's kind of like those Zen koans, getting lost, getting distracted by things is the universe's way of distracting the mind so that you can sink into the heart and the heart can take over. So that, if you think of any movie, any story, any plot in a TV show, they're never off they're always going in the right direction. There's a beginning and there's an ending and there's the middle. And in the middle, they're never off of the track of going to where the ending is. No matter what happens, no matter what it looks like, they are always on track. And in the same sense, you are writing your story as you go. And that's when the synchronicities come in, right? It's like some movies, it's like, oh, that's just too convenient. That was contrived or whatever, right? But no, that's the way life works. You start moving toward your goal. If you're lost, there's always some, it can be Merlin, it can be Gandalf, it can be, or even like trickster, like Coyote or something, popping in to give you directions, to help you remember who you are, because you are your purpose. There is no other purpose. There is no other mission that has been put upon you. You came here to experience yourself and who you are in this playground, this sandbox that is the world. So allow yourself to breathe. You can't get this wrong. You cannot get this wrong. Like the GPS, even if you're heading seemingly away from your goals, the universe just goes rerouting, and using that same intuition, they will bring you back to the main road. You can't go off task. How many stories, how many movies are there where it's like they think they've gone off task and they're, oh my God, I'm worthless. Oh, I couldn't do it. And they found out that the whole time was actually building up to their grand finale of reaching whatever heroic or, epic understanding or, saving the world or whatever it is. There's always a point where you feel like there's a point in the hero's journey of disillusionment when you lose sight of what the purpose is and what's the point of the world, and am I just making this up, blah, blah, blah. That is part of the journey. So trust yourself, believe in yourself, and just keep moving. Just keep moving. You've got this, okay? All right. My friend Lena, you are next. Yay. God, it's late for you. I don't know what you're doing still up, but I'll get you a card so you can go to bed soon. No. All right, Lena. It's interesting. All the cards are coming up reversed tonight, which is not a bad thing. It gives us a compass of which direction to go. Lena, you got Dolphin in reverse. Remember to be in the world. Remember that you are in the world, not of the world. Technically, Dolphin doesn't belong in the ocean because he's a mammal. He breathes air, but he lives in a whole different world. He is in the world. He's in the ocean, but he is not of the ocean. If that makes sense. You are in this world, but don't let this world dictate to you how you see yourself. Don't let this world, the darkness and the pain and the travesty of this world, blind you to the divine light within you, okay? Because if we pay attention to the outside world and we judge who we are and the value of the world and the value of everything else. Oh, you're welcome, Joe. I hope that made sense. I hope that's helpful. We pay attention to the outside world. The outside world is the effect of the inside world. Oh, that's a really cool point. Thank you, Deb. Dolphin also appears to be very slippery. I saw him jump out of your hand. That's true. Um, that's very true. It reminds me, the other night we watched that movie, The Woman King, about the women warriors of that African country. And one of the things they did before going into battle was they rubbed oil of some sort on their arms and their bodies so that they would be more slipperier. And so, thank you, Deb. They are slippery. If you've ever gotten to pet a dolphin or touch dolphin, they're very soft, but they are slippery. Don't tell anybody this, but when I lived back in Minnesota, when I was in like college and high school, they had dolphins there was like a little tropic area, and they had a pool for the dolphins, and there was a place where you could look over into the water to see the dolphins. And it was just a regular viewing thing. There was no cover on it. So if there were no zookeepers around, we could like kind of lean over the railing and get the dolphins' attention, and they would come up and we could pet them on the nose. But don't tell the Minnesota Zoo that we were doing that. We weren't supposed to, but they're so soft and they're so happy. Their default setting is joy because they know who they are outside of their surroundings. The one thing sometimes I feel like a broken record, but dolphin is the epitome of what Dr. Wayne Dyer used to say about how you are a spirit having a human experience, not a human having a spiritual experience. Dolphin is an air breather. It's by taking that air into his lungs that allows him to engage and navigate through his watery world. But he has to have that rhythm rising to the surface to take that big breath of air, because spirit is what drives him. Air is what drives him. Air and spirit in some languages is synonymous. And so it's like spirit rising to spirit, remembering that is who he is, no matter what his skin looks like, no matter what his form looks like, no matter how murky or cold or dark the waters are. That's not his true home. And so the one thing that I would highly recommend is, if you're not already, doing some form of a meditation, like if you think of dolphin rising and diving, it's like rising to connect to spirit, and it's that rather than diving into the world, rising to meet spirit, diving into the world. And so finding a regular rhythm of connecting to spirit, whether it's meditation, whether it's art, whether it's dance, whether it's whatever, setting aside, at least like even 5 or 10 minutes a day, to connect to spirit, to take that, and if you think about dolphin's nose, basically the blowhole is on his crown. So like once or twice a day, just to consciously open your crown chakra to take in the spirit. Oh, Deb lost the audio. Can you guys still hear me? Give me a yes or a heart or something. Let me know if you can hear me. And if I don't get any reactions, I'll know that you can't. Okay, awesome. Sorry, Deb, I don't know what happened with your thing. So, awesome. Okay. Okay. Deb, you might want to try, and I know you can't hear me, so it's pointless for me to say this, but if you want to go back out and come back in, um, we'll see if that helps, because I want you to be able to hear when I give you your cards. So, Lena, you know, when I was going, I've mentioned this before, how I went through a 10-year or more um, period of extreme extreme panic attacks and anxiety. And during that time, it was like the world just seemed too solid. I couldn't see my way beyond what was seen, what was visible. And I realized after the fact that part of it was that my crown chakra was closed. I couldn't open up to the spirit beyond the seen world. And so it just felt like everything was closing in on me, that I was trapped. And actually, I got a picture. Actually, one moment. Hold, please. I got myself, I bought myself this picture. It's called Midsummer Eve by Edward Robert Hughes. But I bought this, I put it on my wall, and every time I started to question the reality of spirit, of the unseen world, of thinking I was just a body, I would look at that picture and it would reassure me that there is so much more, that I am so much more than the physical body that I seem to be. So, you know, for me it was the Fae. It was putting a picture of the fairies up to remind me of the fairy realm, to remind me that there are unseen realms. You know, if there's other things, you know, visual cues like paintings or pictures or even pendants or something to remind you of who you actually are, that you are multidimensional, that you are not trapped by anything in the outer world. That would be my recommendation as well. It's like we're so hypnotized by the rhetoric of the world and society that we need to we have to put physical reminders, whether it's post-it notes. You know, my Sandra Ingerman has been one of my biggest teachers, and she even talks about, she has post-it notes everywhere. She has little sayings, little reminders, little quotes everywhere, because we're so inundated by the world that this is it, that there is no out there, and you know, and so whatever we can do to remind ourselves, like even just having an altar with your spirit animals, your spirit guides, whatever, so that you have one place, one sacred space that is always there holding your light, holding your truth. Whatever it is. I mean, I've got Xena on one of my altars. Whatever it is that resonates with who you really are beyond this world, remember that. So, It's when, you know, your spirit, like dolphin, naturally wants to rise. Like a beach ball, it naturally wants to rise so the air in the beach ball can meet the air above the water. And so that's the natural state. That is the natural progression of things, of your spirit, is to rise. And it's the thoughts and beliefs and all the screwy stuff that we have in our lives that makes us believe we're less than. That's the heaviness that holds the beach ball underwater. But once you start to cast off some of that weight, some of that ballast, you naturally rise. It's not about getting the rocket under you to blast you up somewhere. If you get rid of that weight, you naturally rise. Okay? I hope that's helpful, Lena. It's really good. I'm so glad you're here. I miss you a lot. So, all right, Valerie, it is your turn. And I've been really verbose tonight, so this is going to be a long one, you guys. Thank you for sticking in there with me. And if you have to go and you've got a card coming up, I always share this to my Facebook page, the video. I also upload it to my Perching Wolf Studios YouTube channel. So if you have to leave early and miss your card or whatever, you can always watch it again on my Facebook page, or even better, on my YouTube channel, where you can subscribe. Oh, I miss you too. I'm so glad that was helpful. Be like the dolphins, like the whole Hitchhiker's Guide, where, you know, humans think they're superior because they created civilization and digital watches, and all the dolphins did was muck about in the water having a good time. And the dolphins knew that they were superior for the exact same reasons. So just muck about having a good time. All right? Awesome. All right. Did I finish what I was saying earlier? Yeah, so listen, you can watch this on my YouTube channel, plus almost 3 years worth of these videos. So if you ever need a little extra guidance in the middle of the week, or trying to remember what I said the past week, those are up there, a free resource for you. Just subscribe to my YouTube channel and like the videos, because that helps me, I guess, go up in the algorithms to get more viewers. So it's a win-win situation. All right, Valerie. All right, Valerie, you got the badger. So, if you had any doubts, this is a validation that you are like the oh God, what is it? The battery operated rabbit. Why can't I think of the brand? Energizer. Maybe that's why, because you need to focus on your energy and know that you are like the Energizer bunny, that badger is tenacity. And, you know, badger gets an idea in his head, he gets a destination in his head, and he goes for it. Nothing gets in his way. He either goes around it, under it, over it, or through it. So it's that sense of never giving up. Even when the going gets tough, you never give up. And this is a recognition of that. kind of along the lines I was saying to Joe earlier with weasel medicine. You just keep going, and honey badger. It's like you just keep badgering and badgering and badgering and badgering. You don't let up until you get what you need, until you get where you're going. And there's another element to Badger that feels pertinent, in that Badger is actually Badgers burrow. And so Badger is known as the keeper of the herbs. Badger is I don't know what title, but he's the one in charge of herbal medicine, the one in charge of natural health, natural healing. Because when he burrows down under the earth, the herbs, the roots are in the ceiling. And so he knows all the herbs. He knows exactly what they can do. And it's not necessarily, herbal. The spirit of that story is looking to like the natural healing of the earth, the natural moving in the direction of healing is what I'm trying to get at. And so it's like I said with Joe, you can't make a wrong decision. You have never been off your path. And every little thing you have done, every little hiccup has been toward the realization of your greater expression, your greater health. And it's kind of like I just keep feeling this is a validation. It's kind of like atta girl, you go, you got this, you're doing it. You're not just trying, you are doing it. You're not just attempting something. And that strength to go through, and I don't know anyone who, I have witnessed you facing down your fears and challenges and triggers. I don't know anyone who is better than you at facing those down and keeping going. It's like you see a challenge and you just keep going. You know exactly where you're meant to go. It doesn't matter what you need to go through to get there. You're going. So awesome. You got this. You're making things happen. You are going places. So I hope that helps, love. I see you. All right, Tammy, my friend, it is your turn. Okay. Tammy, you got the snake. So I'm trying to remember what you've gotten in other weeks, but there seems to be a pattern. There seems to be a theme that, oh yeah, because you had butterfly last week, didn't you? Or in reverse, maybe, I don't remember, but I know it was about, I remember talking about you being in the darkness, in the womb, and You know, snake, when they're shedding their skin, their eyes are part of the skin that they shed. So when the snake skin is coming loose and rattling around, they're blind. Oh, you had panther last week. Why was I thinking butterfly? Oh, because you're going into the unknown. It was the darkness. I remembered the darkness. And so snake is about shedding the old skin, about outgrowing your old reality, and moving out of the darkness. Okay, I thought you had butterfly a couple of weeks ago. So you're right on track. And it's like, this to me is a sign that the darkness will be lifting, that you're about to get your sight back, that the things that have held you back before are no longer a variable. It's like you're finally shedding that skin. You're coming out into the light of day. And it's like the skin that was your old eyes has peeled back, and you're moving into the light. And with all these eggs, it's like those are all the potential futures you have to build. That's the creativity coming up. And there are stories. I think the ones I know about are Celtic, that, you know, they talk about the cosmic egg, how the universe is an egg. And according to the Celts, it's a snake egg. The snake egg is where all creation came from. So you are literally birthing your own universe. You are creating you are creating a whole new world. A whole new world. And it's like, I just feel all this excitement. It's like this ecstatic, electric vibrancy of coming to life, like the quickening. Like, you've been in the dark for a little while, you've been holding your space, marinating, and all that time in the darkness is finally shifting. It's like you're coming through that rite of passage into the living, waking world. So, yeah, it's beautiful. I'm excited for you. I am literally excited for you. There's no telling what you can do, you know. And part of the journey, part of the being in the darkness, is to kind of ruminate about our past, where we've come from. And snake medicine is also about that transmutation of what we see as mistakes and shortcomings. And rather than letting those continue to poison us, continuing to be a venom in us, snake venom is, you know, at the heart of the antidote for snake venom, right? It's like the venom itself is the key ingredient in the medicine to heal snake bites. And so you have been doing a lot of examining, a lot of replaying past mistakes, regrets, and not just the regrets and stuff, the wins and everything too. And you have transmuted those rather than being like gopher holes in your path that you can fall into. You've turned them from weaknesses into strengths, into solid ground upon which to stand and to walk. So the world is your oyster. The world is wide open for you. And you are creating new worlds. You are creating new possibilities that didn't exist before. You're creating new choices for yourself. You might find in this new light of day that you find talents and passions and desires that you didn't know you even had. You had a experience today when Snake assisted you. You can't make this stuff up, right? So good on you. Good job, Tammy. All right, so our sixth card of the night, final individual card goes with Deb. All right. And I still have to, I know I haven't gotten to it yet. Like I said, things have been going a little slower the last probably couple of months than I expected, but I still have to send you guys that information I promised from the class the other night last week. So that is still on its way. Deb and Tammy. All right, Deb. Do I even have to say anything? I'm not even sure what to say, Deb, because I know this is one of your totems. I know she comes up in at least most, if not all, of the card readings I've ever done for you. Deer is there. What I'm getting is it's kind of like Valerie's card. This is a validation that you have been doing the work, that you have been making progress in how do I put it? Being softer with yourself, being more accepting of yourself, being more compassionate with yourself and therefore the world. So you have walked Aw, that's so sweet. The fawn from Bambi. I don't know. I have to go back and watch. I haven't watched Bambi in a long time, but yeah. There's a renewed innocence. There's a renewed childlike wonder. Being able to see, rather than seeing the world in black and white and good and bad, it's like starting to be able to, even in the darkness, being able to see the light behind it. Kind of like the yin yang, and the white spot that is the dark fish's eye and the yin yang. It's like being able to see the connection to all things. And that brings up, just this past week, I took a class with, her name is Ellen Sentier. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her last name correct or not, but she works with the goddess Ellen of the ways, the horned goddess. And She's called the goddess of the deer trods. And in this class I took with her about Ellen, to the people of, it was mostly the Celtic lands and Britain and that, and the deer trod paths became the roads. The people would follow the deer trods. And what she brought in beyond that in this class that kind of blew my mind was that it was the paths, and it was the reindeer. It was like the reindeer mother, the deer mother, the reindeer pathways that connected the world in the same way that the spider web, like the World Wide Web, like Grandmother Spider weaving the universe from her web, in her web. And like there's those photos of the stars, from our vision, we see individual separate lights, but seen from certain filters and stuff, they actually aren't individual points of light. They are strings of light through the skies. They are literal threads through the skies. And they mirror there's a term and I can't remember the name of it, but the fungus under the ground that basically connects all plant life, right? And it's like when a tree over here is sick or not getting enough food, through the web of the, is it psilocybe, something, through the web of the fungus that connects the roots of all the trees, healthy trees will send food through that fungal web to trees that are starving, or send energy to trees that aren't getting enough sunlight. All of those things are connected by that web. And it also mirrors our synapses. Mycelium, thank you, Roulette. The mycelium, the network of mycelium under the ground that connects, and the deer trods connect things above the ground, like a web, like the synapses in our brain, like the stars in the sky. It's the connection of all things. And that was the deer trod. And the reindeer were like the synapses traveling along those ways, connecting the dots, connecting. And that's Ellen is the goddess of the reindeer, the horned goddess, the wayfinder, the connector of all those things. And so along with, seeing through the eyes of wonder of a child, like those Bambi eyes, Zen mind, beginner's mind, seeing things from the eyes of a child, everything is magical. Everything is connected. Okay, they're nudging me to talk about Superman. There's this Superman comic. It's called All-Star Superman. And I haven't actually read the graphic novel of it, but they made a cartoon of it. And basically, Lex Luthor, Superman's archenemy, is trying to become Superman. He's trying to create all the same powers that Superman has. And in this comic, he succeeds. And because he obtains the same sight that Superman does, that can see the threads of connection between the atoms, the subatomic quantum threads, he can no longer be evil. He can no longer do harm because he can see how his actions connect to everything else and how he's actually harming himself because he's an essential part of the entire makeup of the universe. And I love that so much. And I mean, I've always loved Superman, but to have that element of his story spoken, to realize that is why he is so good. That is why he doesn't kill people. That's why he doesn't do harm. He has to be good because it's in his nature, because he can see those threads and that connection to everything. Isn't that profound? I like, that's my favorite Superman story. And I'm getting chills up and down about it right now. And it's kind of like, that's what we all aspire to be, right? That high perfection of being able to see and feel all those connections, to actually feel and to see how we are part of everything. So there you go. Make of that what you will, Deb. I hope that's helpful. I hope that makes sense. If you can find the cartoon, it's called All-Star Superman. It's worth it. It's really, really good. So, all right, our final card of the night. I know I've been verbose. Thank you for hanging in there with me. Do one more card for everyone, whether you've got an individual card or not. Ha ha! Awesome. So your card of the week for everybody is Buffalo. Buffalo soldier. Buffalo is abundance. And it fits perfectly with what I just said. Abundance is not just money. It's not just income. Abundance is the web. Abundance is the fact that you are an essential part of the web of the earth. And like those trees that get sent energy or food if they need them, the universe is always watching out for you, always sending you what you need. Abundance is having all your needs met. It's knowing that the universe is on your side. The universe is providing everything for you. Just like the bison provided all the needs of the Plains Indians, their food, their shelter, their clothing, their tools, everything came from Buffalo. And so know that. This has come up time and time and time again this past week. But it's like Abraham Hicks says, how there is one source. There is only a source of well-being. Your default setting is joy. Your default setting is health. Your default setting is abundance. And whether you open up to that abundance or not is what matters. It is what controls how you experience the world. There's not good and evil, a source of good and a source of evil, battling it out head to head to the end of time, like we tend to think. What we see as evil is only a perceived absence of the love that is the source of the universe. And so when we do run into bumps in the road, into challenges, the question to ask is what is blocking me from my natural health, my natural well-being, my natural joy? What thought process, what beliefs have I taken on to say I am less than divine, right? Because that is your ultimate. That is dolphin, right? Dolphin from earlier. You are divine. That is your default setting. And any belief, any thought that says you're less than that is a falsehood. That is when we cut off that flow of abundance from source, from Great Spirit, however you want to think of source. And that it's an opening to that, allowing that abundance to flow in your life that dictates how you experience this life. So it's like the whole thing about abundance mindedness versus scarcity mindedness. If you're focused on the scarcity, if you're focused on the hard times, if you're focused on the challenges and the problems of the world, you're going to find more scarcity, more problems, more challenges. If you're focused on the abundance and the connection and the magic in the world, you're going to find more love and connection and magic. It's everywhere. It's whether you have the eyes, I already shuffled it back into the deck, but the deer, like the eyes of deer, the eyes of wonder to see the magic that's actually there. You are the one who has the power to change the way you see things. And when you change the way you see things, the things that you see change. I think that was also a Dr. Wayne Dyer. But when you change the way you see things, when you change things, the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Remember that. You have the power. Okay? Oofda. So that is our readings for tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. I look forward to this every week. I hope you got something out of it, whether you got a card or not. Again, I will share this to my Facebook page, and I will upload it to my Perching Wolf Studios YouTube channel, so you can check it out. If you forget what I said, you can watch it later. You can watch almost 3 years worth of videos on my channel. If you need a little extra guidance, ask your question, watch one of those videos, and I promise you that it's just as pertinent now as when I videoed it. So thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing this video. If you know anyone who would benefit, please share it with them. Put them, tag them in the comments. And also, if you feel so moved, I gratefully accept any donations you wish to make. My PayPal information will be in the description under the video. I thank you so much for supporting your local shaman. And stay tuned about I mentioned there's going to be an introduction to shamanic journey class coming up sometime in the next couple weeks. I haven't set a date yet. And coming March 23rd, I am starting a whole new year-long Deepening the Journey course. So spending once a month to learn new aspects, new journeys, new things along the shamanic journey, the shamanic path. So stay tuned for those things, and I'm sure I'll be talking about them more in the next coming couple of weeks. Otherwise, until I see you again, know that I love you, that I see you, that I honor you. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. I will see you soon. All right. Go shining. Bye, everybody.